All right, here we go. Hey, everybody. Hope you're having a good Wednesday. We're here with episode, 9 of the MAREI podcast. I'm here with our fill-in. It seems to be more than often here, Michael Pearse. Hey, Michael, how's it going?
Pretty good. How you doing?
Good. We're here with Ryan Kernicky, and he's with PMI Property Management, and he's going to tell us a little bit about himself, the business services, maybe some tips and tricks for the rental real estate investors out there right now. Ryan, welcome.
Thank you guys for having me.
Go ahead and tell people about yourself. I'm sure you've been over the spiel a million times, but give it to us one more time for the people stuck in home.
Sure. Yeah. So as John said, I'm Ryan. I work with Destination Properties. It's part of PMI, the franchise.
Okay.
And we've been doing it for just over 20 years now. So fortunately for me coming into it, I've got a lot of stuff already ironed out that I was able to hit the ground running, and helps out a lot for us. But we primarily stick to single family. We do have a couple commercial, and then let's see here, 3 multi units. So our bread and butter with the 314 doors that we have right now are single family.
Okay. And you said you have a few like duplex, fourplex type stuff.
Yeah.
You guys aren't opposed to managing those if needed?
Correct. Yeah, no, we're not. Let's see here. I think the 2 of them are fourplexes. The other one is a fourplex, and I guess there is one more in Olathe that's a duplex. So we're not going to shy away from them. It's just the majority of the homes that we have and the leads that come in are single family.
And so you're one of the property managers for that team. How big is the team composed of? Do you guys have property managers? Do you do like contractors, third party, or do you guys have some on staff? How's that all structured?
Yeah, so the majority, I say we have about, all told, somewhere around that 15 on staff, and full-time maintenance staff that we work with. So like if there's roofing, if there's carpentry work, if there's plumbing or HVAC, we do have the knowledge here to do that stuff. But if it's a little bit more intrusive, then we definitely have vendors that we work with on a day-to-day basis.
Gotcha. Yeah, those things are pretty specific. And I figure with that many doors, you'd have definitely some people on staff, some general managers.
Oh yeah.
That. Okay, sounds good. What as far as the interesting times we're going through now, obviously with the pandemic, and hopefully we're coming off that and getting back to normal, and businesses going as soon as possible here. How has it affected you guys, if any? I'm sure probably showings have been modified to maybe virtual or paused, or how's that all working?
Yeah, so fortunately for us, knock on wood here, but business has been, it's been going just as you'd expect without there being any sort of pandemic or economic recession going on. The showings, we use tenant turner, so we've got electronic code boxes. So we've been able to do self viewings for a while now. So we haven't had to really try to change or put into play new procedures as far as showings go. We'll still do an in-person showing here and there if the applicant requests, of course, and then we take the necessary precautions there. But the showings perfectly fine so far. I'd say probably the biggest key that has allowed us to continue just cruising along would be we have very good communication with our residents. So we, whether it be calls, emails, they can still stop by. But that has definitely been a huge thing, is the communication factor. If you're not talking to your residents, then they're not talking to you. So they're also not going to be paying. So the owners aren't going to be satisfied. But fortunately, we're rolling right along.
What do you guys do much showings when you have tenants in place? Let's say they're 60 days out. They they're done with their contract because they want to move to a different location, maybe bigger. Are you guys still doing those? Because I know they would either have to be gone for the person to check out their house, but at the same time, they probably need to be with somebody because obviously people's belongings are there. How's that work?
Yes. So we navigate those as they come about, but we try to work out 1 or 2 times, a week if they're able to, or at least a couple times a month right now, where one of our representatives is there with a prospective applicant. But yeah, it's a little bit tricky, I should say, because it's not the standard. Hey, if notice is given, if we have an applicant, we'll try to work out a time that works best for you all as well as the applicant, and one of us still shows it with them because, like you said, people's belongings are still in there, so there does need to still be that accountability and person-to-person encounter there. But it's that part of it has probably seen the biggest slow, if you will, is people are a little bit more apprehensive to just let anybody into their home right now.
Right. No, that makes sense. It's not so for the most part, especially in the Midwest, it sounds like they've had, really high 80s to, maybe mid to low 90s on collection rates. It obviously differs based on location, demographic of tenants as far as collection rate. Have you been seeing collection rates being pretty steady, higher? Obviously being proactive helps.
Yeah, honestly, we've had, fortunately for us, we've stuck at least this month. We're still right around that 96%, and we have some promises to pay here today and tomorrow by end of month. So fortunately, that's kind of all worked itself out, but not a huge drop, I should say. Not a huge drop anyway.
And that's good news because everybody was freaking out to see if this would turn back into a time where we're about a decade or more now where real estate prices would collapse and rentals be empty. But I always tell people, as far as rental property, should still hold the same. Everyone obviously needs a place to live. So with multifamily or single family, if you have people losing their house, so they'll move to a rental. So you should still be safe. But obviously, if the lockdown or quarantine is passed on for multiple months, then we maybe got some problems.
Yeah, that would be some rough patches, I would imagine.
For sure. Sounds good.
But yeah, you're right. The rental market definitely has stayed. As far as rates are concerned, it's definitely stayed. There hasn't been any drops. There haven't even been any suggestions of drops for that matter.
Let me ask another question too, and Michael could just jump in whenever.
Yeah.
As far as services, so is it a full blown? You take care of everything from the maintenance to the leasing to the marketing. Is there something that you guys don't necessarily do, or is it pretty much an all-in-one type of service?
There isn't. It's pretty much all encompassing. So like, for a new owner that would come on with a home, let's say it's vacant, what we would take it from square one. We'd get pictures, we'd market it, we'd screen all applicants, and then do any of the approval process. We'd do the move-in as well and set the applicant up as a resident at that point online. They've got portal access as well as the owner. Owner would have portal access they could monitor their own funds as they're getting brought in from rent and then dispersed into their account. So the owner, as far as what they're doing nothing. They're just kind of sitting back, and should there be a problem, we'll contact them and let them know, hey, this is what's going on. If it's a maintenance issue and it's outside of the realm of whatever it is that we've agreed upon, then that they would only be in play at that part, working with us directly, so we could get that remedied and get a contractor in there or one of our vendors in there to fix it. But yeah, the owners they're very much hands off. We handle everything. So day-to-day calls, any of the tenant relations, it's all us. So it's pretty good for the owners. They don't have to do much.
Yeah, I'm sure they miss it.
Right.
Where are you guys located, and how far do you guys manage rentals out?
So our offices are located right here in Overland Park, basically I-35 and Shawnee Mission Parkway, just about a half mile to
Okay.
the. So as far as what we service, it's as far stretching east as, let's see here, Warrensburg. It's as far west stretching as Topeka. Let's see here, south to Osawatomie, and then north. Oh shoot, north. I think we're just shy of St. Joe, I believe.
Okay.
We go to Atchison. We have a home in Atchison, Kansas. So it's, I guess the best way to put it is the entire KC metro area.
Oh, cool.
How many property managers do you guys have to cover that location too?
Just me.
Oh, wow. Okay. So you're running around. I assume you try to use technology then.
Yes, definitely. Definitely.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, this is a point obviously where you use online automation and to track not only, all the expenses, maintenance, finances, stuff like that. So that's pretty helpful for sure. What do you guys do for a platform again? Because you said one for the showings. Is it the same for the whole management tool too?
No. So the owner and resident portal is all done through Propertyware. It's one of the biggest rental software out there. So that's what we use. The tenant turner is tied with our actual website of rentingkc.com, and that's intertwined with each other so that they communicate back and forth, with tenant turner being the scheduling portion and our messaging platform back and forth with the applicants who are looking around. So if they don't want to call, they can message on that, and we can message them back and forth that way. But the primary used is Propertyware. That handles all that rent collection and everything like that.
Sounds good. As far as meetings, is there a need to do like a weekly type meetup with owners, or monthly, or is just on an as needed basis?
Pretty much as needed. We as a team meet weekly, but as needed. Some of the owners they like calling in and talking. So I'd say there's a few that I talk to regularly, 2-3 times a month, just because they just like knowing, as opposed to trying to log on to the portal itself. They're not a big fan of that. So, but as a team, we definitely meet weekly, and anything that we need to communicate to the owners at that point, we do.
Interesting. Okay.
Do you guys offer like any services like grass maintenance or public park or whatnot?
So yeah, if you want yard maintenance, we do offer that. We do. There's a fee set up for it, of course, but yeah, we'll do that for you if you as the owner want that, or if you don't trust that the residents will take care of it. We have one of the owners who has a very nice yard, and they have water system set up. They don't want the irritation or frustration of that not being used, so they handle that, and they handle that water bill still.
So as far as a lot of people, vetting different management companies. Do you think there's certain values or certain things to look out for when kind of trying to choose a management company? What would you say maybe are the most common questions that come up or that people are worried about as far as choosing that person to help you out?
Sure. I'd say, honestly, one of the biggest ones that we get regularly, weekly, is when we actually pick up the phone and they're not having to leave a voicemail, or they get to talk to me directly at that point when they call in, or if I happen to be busy or out of the office, then they still get a call that day. So I'd say communication would be the biggest, and then the openness to actually meet, because there are some that, so I've heard, of course, that's just potential owners calling in and then ending up going with this, is that they felt like they were burdening who they were trying to reach out to get some information on. They didn't feel like that individual they were speaking to was open to just meeting, open to using their time to try to get that owner happy and serviced how that they would need.
Okay. Yeah, it's definitely tough. It's kind of interesting you mentioned that too, because a while back, this was more for like commercial multifamily, like 50 plus. But I think out of like 6 places, maybe 7 places I called, maybe like 1 person picked up. So
Wow.
I don't know if it's just because, as tenants are could be super needy, but yeah, it is kind of complicated to get a hold of certain property managers.
Okay. Yeah. See, so you've experienced it. Yeah.
That was one big thing, and I guess that you could say that's number one, because if I can't even get a hold of anybody, then I can't even figure out if I want to even use them. So
Exactly. Yeah.
how do you obviously I manage tenants right now. Just on the personal side, we have property manager for the apartment stuff. But how do you keep sane with all these tenants and all the disputes? How's that work? Is it technology that helps you the most, or maybe establishing a baseline of this is expectations?
Honestly, I think I'm going to dip back into my background a little bit. That helps me there is I spent time in law enforcement, and
There you go.
you're pulled left,
Well,
right.
so you bring a firearm.
Right. Yeah.
Then you don't get complaints. It's odd.
You're going through all sorts of stuff that you have to deal with daily. You have to come up with a system that works for you to keep stuff in order. And of course, there's prioritizations. So there are plenty of calls every day and plenty of messages. But if me as the property manager, if I can't stay calm or collected and how I, delve out the priority list to get handled, well, that's going to blow my stress levels right out of the water, and then I'm not going to be productive at all. So I think having that stressful lifestyle for a while, this is very easy, if you will, for me to stay grounded and stay organized and not get super stressed out with certain things. So software definitely does help, but I've got notebooks over here, and I still like handwritten notes for myself anyway.
And it sounds like, you really need that personal touch, because there's a lot of things that it's a, as instance basis that some people don't like to respond to email, and you got to work it out because you got to feel out the situation.
Definitely. Yeah.
And would you say like, the biggest reason people come to yourself and the company is because of time, hassle, scalability?
So a lot of it honestly is just what you just said, hassle. A lot of people they just get tired of dealing with it, and they look at their finances and say, hey, this is costing me of my time this much, where I could have somebody else do it, and my time is now back to being valuable doing something else. I'm sure you kind of deal with that yourself as anybody who self-manages. But the biggest thing is the time. That's what most everybody will comment to us when they call in or when I meet with them, is they've sat down and realized how much time they personally are spending. And that's what ultimately makes them call property management companies, myself included.
Okay. How about any type of fees? Like, what's the investor fee rate? Is there a fee for maintenance?
Yeah. So it is either it's $895. So it's $895 or first month's rent, whichever one's greater, is going to be 100%, and then 10% thereafter, or 95, whichever one's greater.
And how is that broken out as far as like maybe quantity of units, and then maybe go into how maintenance is handled as far as maintenance and showings? Because sometimes that's built in, sometimes it's a separate fee. I don't know. It's different for
No, yeah, that's built in with us.
Okay.
And if there's, like a major system that fails and it's not the resident's fault, then at that point, if it exceeds whatever we've agreed upon in the management agreement, let's just throw out a 300 to 300. So if something happens that's over that, we'll get bids and permission, of course, from the owner to go forward with it. Now, obviously, if that's the resident's fault, it would get charged back to the resident, and we would still handle that and get it taken care of. But there's no hidden fees, if you will, of maintenance. That's just it's built into it. That's
Okay.
our services being provided for that management fee.
Okay, cool. Do you guys offer like any rehabbing? Let's say someone brings you a house and like, hey, I want to use you as my property manager, but if you can rehab it also, that'd be awesome. Do you do anything like that?
We do, and we have. Yeah.
Okay.
Obviously, it depends on the scope of the work, of course. If it's something that's more than just hey, let's put some cabinets in the kitchen, or we want to change the Formica to granite or something like that, we can facilitate that for sure.
Okay. Do you charge a management fee to do the rehab, like a 10% management fee on top of the rehab costs?
Whatever that cost is, there would be a fee assessed to that cost, for facilitating it all and overseeing it. Yep.
Okay. Cool.
Usually like a project management fee. So they wouldn't actually build you a rental, but they can rehab the rental.
Yeah.
That would be,
We're not going to build them. You got that first.
That would be definitely pretty crazy right now. Do you another thing, just coming back to just the market real quick, do you see showings and that staying pretty steady? And what about getting new clients? Because I know showings, you could see them coming down a little bit or maybe staying steady, depending on if people are scared of virus. And then number two, as far as clients, I wonder if they're on pause because, people don't know what the market's doing, so they're not necessarily adding to their portfolio.
Sure. The showings, yes. Showings have been down. But I will say, I would have to say most of the showings are turning into qualified leads, or applicants.
So you're at the end, it sounds like you're not really getting much effect. Like you might get 20 showings this time, let's just say a number, but even if you only get 5 and they're solid, they're still good to go. Yeah.
That's basically, that's more so how we're seeing it on our end, at least, is the showings themselves, as far as quantity, have gone down. But as far as at the back end, the qualified applicants, we're still seeing those come through.
Good.
Are you seeing a lot of applicants renew their lease if the average is people leave every
Yes.
Okay, cool.
We've had a handful, honestly, that have rescinded their notice and have then just renewed up. So
cool.
Yeah, it's good because you don't know what's going to happen maybe with your job, or going around looking at other places could be a potential risk for some people if that's a concern. So yeah, that's a good point. That we've heard a lot about management companies having much higher renewal rates because people don't want to move right now. So
I would agree.
but I guess, are you, as far as like increasing rents too, like that, is that based on a mixture of what you guys recommend and the homeowner? And I assume rental rates have been pretty flat to play it safe, or have you been increasing them a little bit through these times?
Honestly, as far as renewals and stuff have gone, the rates they have still gone up.
Okay.
As far as the
What
market
percent?
value, all market value, because we'll run the rental comps constantly, and just so we can kind of stay in touch, of course.
Sure.
Otherwise, it's once a month maybe. But yeah, they've definitely still increased. I mean, the rental market, fortunately, has stayed strong,
Yeah.
at least locally.
Yeah. And like I was saying, we don't see any flash sales or anything happening. I think you could probably, during these times, definitely negotiate. But still, I think sellers still feel pretty strong. I think there's still buyers out there. I just think they're kind of on pause.
Yeah.
So, I just tell people, if you're potentially looking for something, there could be something out there. But yeah, I mean, it's not going to be, crazy deals everywhere. I don't think so.
No, I have not seen that anyway. Especially on the if you've got a vacant home, that the vacant homes are selling. They are selling.
Yeah, I can definitely see that. Okay, sounds good. I guess we can start wrapping up. Do you have any last minute questions, Michael?
I guess how can people get a hold of you and from there?
Yeah. So you can either go to our website, which is rentingkc.com. You can Google Destination Properties, and then our preferred method, of course, you can call us. So 913-583-1515.
Okay. What's a good email for them too?
So the easiest is leasing@PMIDestination.com.
Okay, sounds good. And do you guys got a Facebook site you like to connect through them, or is other ways better?
There is a Facebook site. Yeah, you can definitely do that. The leasing coordinator monitors that very regularly.
Okay, cool. So it sounds like there's a lot of ways to contact you guys. Sounds like you got definitely a lot of experience with single family, and I'm sure, honestly, duplex, fourplex isn't that far out of the realm. So definitely, everyone, if you have any questions, contact Ryan. Check out the website. It sounds like the website has pretty extensive amount of knowledge if you have general questions there about the services and stuff they offer. Other than that, is there anything else you wanted to leave with us? If I know we've kind of asked a bunch of random questions about the market and services, but if nothing else.
No, I'm good. I appreciate it. I like getting out there in front of as many people as I can. And appreciate your all's opportunity to do that.
Oh, sounds good. All right, everyone. We will see you again on the next one. Thanks for joining us, Ryan.
Thanks, y'all.
Appreciate it.